Hey everybody, it's Christina Holloway here. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how to have a difficult conversation with your boss. I'm going to spend the next few videos talking about the different ways to have meaningful and productive conversations with the different people around you at work. Also, this year, I'm sharing 12 leadership metrics that will help you succeed in your career. This is pretty much a full framework for how to develop your skills to build your career. This month, we're talking about effective communication strategies. You can catch up on all the videos in the playlists on my YouTube channel. Everything is linked below in the description, and communication is so important that it also has its own playlist, which I've called the Communication Toolkit. Make sure to check it out. Real quick, if you enjoy this content and want to learn more about how to make power moves in your career, make sure to follow my channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video from me. All right, so let's get started. Number one, understand your boss's communication style. You can't get anywhere and you can't make any progress if you don't understand what kind of person your boss is. I have a pretty astounding example from a client of mine. She started working with me because she wanted to get promoted. She said that her previous boss told her that she would need to work on repairing her relationship with her new boss if she ever expected to be successful at this company. And the feedback she was receiving from her new boss was telling. She does whatever she wants. She doesn't make thoughtful decisions. She has her own agenda. She's unmanageable. So to me, that meant she had a level of confidence in her role and was empowered to make her own decisions. This left her boss feeling a little bit like he was irrelevant. In addition to that, she mentioned that she really couldn't get a good read on him because in meetings and corporate events, he would withdraw. He wasn't very talkative, he would skip dinner events, and he was uncomfortable. So I just asked her, well, is he an introvert? Because the way you're describing him, it sounds like he's an introvert, and your bold approach is really exhausting to him. And she said, yes, he is. I may have even shared this anecdote before, but it's important. Once she realized what kind of communication style he had, she was able to shift the way she interacted with him. She became more supportive during events. She offered to take these outward-facing meetings in his place. From his perspective, she became more collaborative. Once she realized what he needed to be successful and how she could make herself valuable to her boss, he started to see her in a different way. And this isn't about her changing who she is. If you can see it, she was really navigating her workspace from an unaware state of mind. She didn't realize her behavior was difficult for him to manage, and she didn't really care that he was exhausted from her decision-making approach. What she did want, however, was a promotion, and she wasn't going to get that until he saw her as someone who contributed to the bigger strategy of the business, and that meant working with him and not against him. To figure out what kind of communicator your boss is, pay attention to the way that person responds to you. You could have a fast-talking, fast-thinking boss who's quick to make decisions and loves to brainstorm. You could have an introvert boss who's super inside his head and would rather make thoughtful decisions. Figure out a way to meet your boss somewhere in the middle and use awareness of your boss's habits and behaviors to start responding in a way that will create openness and trust. That trust is going to allow you to assert yourself when you need to have tough conversations. Number two, understand what your boss wants from you. Now, I've had a boss, many of them, and I've been a boss to large groups of people. As a person who's running programs and responsible for the success of the directives from upper management, I really only want one thing, for the project or assignment to be successful. Layered under that, I want to make sure the people on my team are working towards their strengths, because that's how we're going to be extremely successful. Beyond that, wrapping up the project will allow us to celebrate wins and document where the team did great work, and it will go on performance reviews to contribute to their career success. Fabulous. If you are assigned to a team and you have a particular job, make sure you understand the underlying reason why you're there. This is about understanding the definition of your position. You will eventually leave your job and someone else will take it. I know, you're irreplaceable. We all are. I get it. Understanding the foundation of your job responsibilities and then having a conversation with your boss to understand what your boss needs from you in that role. will go a long way to helping you build a solid professional relationship with your boss. What you don't want is to walk in there with the attitude that it doesn't matter what your job is. You know you have great skills, and you're going to do your job the way you want to, regardless of what someone else says. Once you understand what your boss wants from you in that role, you'll have a better understanding of how to show up and where your unique skills will make the most impact. As an expert or authority in your field with the skills that make you unique, you're better able to talk with your boss like a professional, especially when issues come up. Number 3, understand what you want from your boss. Okay, so this one can be tricky. If I asked you what you want from your boss, you might say something like, I want my boss to respect me. I want my boss to listen to me. I want my boss to stop micromanaging me. So let's dig a little deeper. If you're coming from this mindset, it's because you have a need on an emotional level to be heard and understood, but you're directing it at the wrong person. Technically, your boss doesn't need to do all of those things. It would be nice, but without a deeper understanding of why those things are important to you, you're really just setting up your boss as the enemy, and that doesn't help anyone. What you really want from your boss is a clear understanding of how the work you're doing now for your boss is going to contribute to your career success. You have to have a clear understanding of why you have this job, how long you're willing to stay in this job, and what you want to get from it as you prepare to make your next move. When you know all that, you can tell your boss your goals and how the work you're doing should contribute to that goal. Hey boss, I want to lead people. How are the assignments you're giving me this year going to help me achieve this goal? Now you can look towards your boss for direction on how to make that happen. The conversation will shift away from my boss doesn't understand me to my boss knows what I want and can open doors and give me opportunities. I had someone on my team one time who was doing design work, and I noticed she had a journalism degree. So I asked her why she wasn't working on our writing team, and she said, no one asked me. I asked her if she liked the work she was doing, and she said, not really. Seriously, how long was she going to stay in a job that didn't use her strengths? Speak up. As a boss, it was nice to hear what people wanted out of their assignments. It made my life easier. Number 4, repair a broken connection to your boss. I'm going to circle this one all the way back up to my client who was butting heads with her boss. The entire point of our coaching work together was for her to repair a fractured relationship with her boss so she could be considered for a promotion to executive director. If your situation looks like my client's, then here are some strategies that worked for her and they might work for you. First, pay attention to the feedback. If you're feeling emotional and reactive to some of the comments your boss may have made recently, then take a step back and try to look at it from your boss's personality type. If you don't mix well, like oil and water, then you'll need to be the one who makes an effort to find a workable solution. Next, focus on solutions, not problems. Interpersonal dynamics are complicated until they aren't. Once you understand exactly what you want versus what you think you need, you'll suddenly see how your boss can, or maybe can't, help you in your career journey. This also applies if you suddenly realize that this isn't the job for you. Suddenly, all your effort to work effectively with your boss melts away as you decide you're ready to make a move. Then, keep the lines of communication open. If you need your boss to be your ally or your biggest advocate for an assignment that's really important to you, it pays to be in touch and regularly check in to see if there's anything you're missing in terms of accomplishment. Your boss is going to be more than happy to give you feedback on where you can level up your skills. You just need to keep it in perspective as you build your experiences. On a final note, I had one boss who was crappy and did everything she could to undermine me. Toxic bosses are real. I have a video on that right here. But this video is really about taking a professional relationship with your boss that you think might be mediocre and transforming it into something that could help you with your career simply by figuring out an effective communication style that creates a bridge of understanding. Being able to communicate with your boss is going to be the most important skill you develop. All right, so that's it for my video on how to have a difficult conversation with your boss. If you have examples of how you've been successful in speaking some hard truths to your boss, Feel free to share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear about them. And if you enjoyed watching this video and you found it helpful, please make sure to give it a big thumbs up by hitting that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to my channel so you never miss another video from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.